Picture this, a girl, alone in the dead of night, her dormitory eerily quiet. Our protagonist, a young woman with curiosity sparked in her eyes, finds herself roused from slumber, surrounded by an unsettling silence. A silence that seems to echo through the halls of her once bustling dorm, now as still as a graveyard. As her eyes adjust to the dimly lit room, she notices a peculiar sight. Her fellow dorm mates, once so lively and vibrant, now move in unison like a colony of ants, their eyes vacant. They're sleepwalking, she realizes, her heart pounding in her chest. One by one, they shuffle out of the dorm, their movements synchronized in an uncanny dance. Intrigued and equally terrified, she decides to follow the sleepwalkers. She mimics their vacant gaze, their mechanical movements, blending in seamlessly. With a shiver down her spine, she watches as each student, like a puppet on a string, walks out into the night. The girl, curiosity piqued, decides to follow the sleepwalkers. With a deep breath, she mimics their vacant gaze, their steady, rhythmic steps. She is an actor in a play she does not understand, but nevertheless, she plays her part, blending seamlessly into the silent parade. They move as one, a spectral procession through the eerily quiet campus. Moonlight casts long, dancing shadows that flicker over the buildings, making the scene feel even more surreal. Our girl, heart pounding, keeps her eyes forward, focusing on the back of the person in front of her, just like the rest. As they leave the familiar concrete paths of the campus, the journey takes an unexpected turn. The sleepwalkers veer off into the thick woods that border the grounds. The girl hesitates, her mind screaming at the absurdity of it all. But curiosity is a powerful motivator, and she pushes on, following the winding trail of bodies that disappear into the darkness ahead. The woods are alive with the sounds of the night, the hoot of an owl, the rustle of leaves underfoot, but the sleepwalkers are silent, their footsteps barely making a sound. The girl, her heart in her throat, continues to mimic their behavior, her eyes wide with fear and fascination. She's now deeply swallowed by the forest, the only light coming from the slivers of moonlight piercing through the canopy. The path seems to go on forever, and the sense of isolation begins to creep in. She fights the urge to turn back, reminding herself that she's come too far to retreat. Suddenly the trees part, revealing a hidden clearing. In the center, an underground pool, its water as black as the night sky. She gasps, her heart pounding in her chest. The sleepwalkers are heading towards it, one by one, diving into the darkness without hesitation. This is the end of the trail, the place where all the sleepwalkers are drawn to. The sight is both terrifying and mesmerizing. As the trees part, they arrive at a hidden underground pool, its water as black as the night sky. The sight of the black pool sends chills down her spine. The girl stands, her heart pounding in her chest as she watches the scene unfolding before her. An underground cavern, bathed in an eerie, ethereal glow, houses a pool of inky black water. It's as if the night sky itself has been captured, stars and all, and placed within the earth's embrace. The pool is an abyss, a void that seems to swallow all light and sound. It's a stark contrast to the sleepwalkers, who move with an otherworldly grace, their faces blank and vacant. Yet in their eyes, there's a strange serenity, an acceptance of the fate that awaits them. They approach the pool's edge with a mesmerizing rhythm, like a dance choreographed by the unseen hands of the night. There's no hesitation, no fear in their movements. They don't flinch or falter. One by one, they step off the edge, disappearing into the black expanse with nary a ripple to mark their passage. It's as if the pool is calling to them, luring them into its depths with an irresistible allure. The girl watches, her breath catching in her throat, her heart hammering a frenzied beat against her ribs. She can't tear her eyes away from the macabre spectacle. She can't comprehend what she's seeing, yet she can't deny it either. The cold dread that seizes her is real as the chilling touch of the stone beneath her feet. Her mind screams at her to run, to escape this nightmare. But she can't. She has to keep up the act, to mimic their movements, their vacant expressions. She has to blend in, to become one of them, if she hopes to uncover the truth behind this bizarre phenomenon. The sleepwalkers continue their dance, their numbers dwindling as they succumb to the pool's call. One by one they jump, a procession of spectral figures merging with the black abyss, until only she remains on the pool's edge. Alone by the pool, she's left with a heart-wrenching decision. Our heroine stands at the edge of the pool, its inky depths reflecting nothing but the fear in her eyes. The ominous silence of the underground chamber is deafening, broken only by the faint echoes of the sleepwalkers' plunge into the black pool. She's torn, a tempest of thoughts raging within her. Should she dive into the unknown, follow the sleepwalkers into the abyss, or should she turn her back on this nightmarish scene and seek help? The decision is far from simple, her heart pounding against her ribcage as she grapples with the weight of her choices. She ponders, her mind a whirlwind of questions. What's causing her dorm mates to sleepwalk into this eerie pool? Is it some form of hypnotism, a spell, or something far more sinister? And what would happen to her if she were to jump in after them? Would she end up in the same trance-like state, or would she be able to break free from whatever force is compelling them? Equally compelling, though, is the fear of what might happen if she chooses to run. Would she be pursued, caught, and forced into the pool? Or would she be able to escape, find help, and possibly save her friends from this chilling fate? The stakes are high, and the risks even higher. The decision feels like a heavy stone in her stomach, a daunting burden she carries alone. But she knows she can't stand there forever, frozen in indecision. She must choose, and she must choose quickly. The seconds tick away, each one echoing in her ears like a heartbeat, growing louder and more insistent. She glances back one last time at the path she came from, the dorm she once considered a safe haven, now a distant memory. Then, her gaze sweeps over the eerie underground pool, its black surface as still and silent as the grave. With a deep breath, she steps forward, closing her eyes as she makes her choice. Her heart pounds in her chest, fear and determination mingling in a potent cocktail as she faces the unknown. The decision has been made, and there's no turning back now. What happens next is something she could never have predicted. A new day dawns, and the surreal events of the night seem to dissolve like a dream upon waking. The girl stirs in her bed, her eyes fluttering open to the soft morning light filtering through the dorm room window. The room is silent, save for the gentle cadence of her fellow dorm mates' peaceful slumber. She sits up, her heart pounding in her chest as the memories of the previous night flood back. The sleepwalkers, the underground passage, the ominous black pool. It all seems too bizarre to be true. Yet the vividness of her recollections sends a chill down her spine. She steps out of her bed, her eyes scanning the room. The others are there, sleeping soundly in their beds. They all appear undisturbed, none bearing any trace of sleepwalking or midnight excursions. There's no sign of fatigue or distress on their faces, just the peaceful countenance of those deep in sleep. She ventures out of the dorm, her footsteps echoing in the silent corridors. The campus is serene, untouched by the nocturnal events. It's as if the night's eerie procession had never occurred. There's no sign of the underground passage, no indication of the black pool. All that remains is the tranquil normality of a college campus at dawn. She returns back to the dorm, her mind a whirl of thoughts and questions. Did it really happen, or was it just a dream? She looks at her fellow students, their faces serene in the soft morning light. They have no recollection of the night's events, no memory of sleepwalking or the underground pool. As the day progresses, she tries to shake off the unsettling memories. She attends her classes, chats with her friends, tries to immerse herself in the mundanity of college life. But the image of the black pool, the eerie silence of the sleepwalkers, it all lingers in the back of her mind, a haunting echo of the night. She confides in a close friend, sharing the bizarre events of the previous night. But her friend dismisses it as a vivid nightmare, a product of stress and late-night study sessions. The girl wants to believe it, wants to dismiss it as a dream, but something deep within her knows that it was more than that. She returns to her dorm that night, her heart heavy with trepidation. She lies in her bed, her eyes wide open, waiting for the night to unfold its secrets. But the night passes uneventfully, the dorm remains silent, and there's no procession of sleepwalkers. As the sun rises, she's left with one haunting question. What happened at that black pool, and will it happen again? She wonders if she'll ever uncover the truth, or if it will remain an enigma, a chilling mystery etched in the canvas of her memories. Only time will tell. Y'all, we're wrapping up here, but don't you go anywhere just yet. Show some love, hit that like button. Fancy more content like this? Go on, subscribe and let that bell icon ring so you won't miss a beat. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sharing is caring. Until next time, stay tuned.